Somebody that told you wrong.
What up, peoples?
Somebody that told you wrong.
What up, peoples?
Somebody that told you.
Give me a second. Let me share the stream. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Got a lot to talk about. Gonna talk about the playoffs. Nothing short of drama as we pretty much knew. But give me a second. Let me share the feed. Probably gonna have Ray coming in because I believe Ray was at all the events, so I'm at all the playoff spots. So I'm gonna have him come in, tell us what he saw, what he thought about it, and everything. Let me go ahead and do that now. But yeah, I want to thank everybody who sent out prayers, who reached out to me after the accident. I'm glad that all of us actually made it out of there. Everybody is fine, thank God. I'm about to share this again. I'm sorry, but yeah, like I said, appreciate everybody who reached out, said a prayer, had us in their thoughts. I appreciate everybody. It was, not gonna lie, it was a scary situation, but like I said, man, there's nothing short of a miracle, nothing short of a blessing. We was able to walk away from that because it was yeah. So, but I don't want to really dwell on that or relive that, but I do want to make sure I tell everybody I appreciate everybody who reached out. Everybody, a lot of y'all team owners reached out to me, and you know, I got when that some of y'all, you know, reached out to your team owners to reach out to me, and I appreciate that as well. Appreciate it all because life is short, boy, and that could have definitely went left. But like I said, I'm glad. And if anybody got a tie into somebody from the UBA Texas, I would love to get somebody from the UBA Texas in here so they could talk about their first season. I think that's super dope that they are currently going into the championship. I think either they just had it or they're going into the championship, which is amazing for their first year. How much the UBA has grown out there in Texas. So I think that's dope. Shout out to the people who've been trying to get certain things changed in the UBA. Who's coming out, you know, looking to take that leadership role. And I think it's a bunch of people that's looking to really grow the UBA and get the UBA going. So I'm all here for it. I know Gustavo's been one of those ones that been, you know, trying to get the UBA to do to get the UBA to do kind of like a board, which I definitely think is needed. I think the board will only help get ideas across and get them, you know, implemented. So even if like I may have an idea that I think is a good idea, that might not be a good idea, that somebody else may. I just sent you the link, right? That somebody else may, you know, think it's a good idea, but somebody may break it down to me to where it makes sense. And I think that's what the board does. I'm looking for my light. I cannot find my light to save my life. But I want to definitely want to keep pushing that because I think it's a good idea. You know, more hands, not to say more hands in the pot, but more people sharing ideas to get a vote. I think everybody who is in that category is kind of looking to, you know, get it to where it's working. You know, everybody wants this thing to work well. Everybody wants to fine tune it. I think everybody's on the same page of wanting this to grow. So that's what I'm looking forward to coming up. But let's talk playoffs. Shout out to Synergy and Disorderly Conduct for making it the Battle Bowl. What up, Mel? I think it was well deserved. What up, Ray? How you doing today?
What up, man? What up?
Nothing much, man. Just gonna recap the playoffs real quick. I'm on. Oh, here we go. I don't know what. I'm on a couple of new devices, so it's weird. I lost one of my phones in an accident. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if it. I don't know. So, but yeah. So, you were at the weekend this past weekend, also, correct?
No, I didn't make the trip for the second one.
Okay.
I went up there for that one. I watched Mal's commentary for that match,
Yeah,
and then watched the other one as well.
Yeah, I watched Mal's. Appreciate that, Mal. I think Mal did a great job with that because a lot of people, I know my team has been really talking about coverage for the South. And for him to do that, I think that was dope. I was definitely tuned in. I know we on my team chat, we was talking about it. We was tuned in. But I'm going to go ahead and let the elephant out the room since we were in the first round of the playoffs against Disorderly Conduct. We had a tight match against them that wasn't really tight, but it was. It's just weird how the UBA, how the point system worked. The reason why I say it was tight, it really came down to our middle pair. We could have forced a 20-20 tie. And after the first game, I think we were up 4-2. Our scratch squad looked like they had it under control, and then they scratch squad just went off. They scratch squad ended up just going ham. And then they ended up taking, I think they took a lead over 100 pins after that. And my handicap 2 squad did their thing. Shout out to Sump, Dewanye, and Robert Cook, because they ended up sweeping that pair against what's the old boy name that ended up shooting 803, the lefty, or 830?
That wasn't when that wasn't Stone, was it?
I can't remember.
On which grade? Come on, Scratcher?
No. They had two. Didn't they have in their last match? Didn't they have two guys that shot 800?
Oh yeah, Marlon and Chris.
Yeah, which one is the lefty?
I think that's Chris. Marlon's the right. Shoot, I don't remember.
Well, the lefty.
Marlon's yeah, Chris the left.
Yeah, he was on that pair. So we ended up sweeping on handicap 2, but we just had a feat that was a little bit too big. And they hey, I'm gonna call it a spade. They struck and we didn't. And everybody who knows bowling, you know that's the name of the game. They struck, we didn't. I like the lineup I had out there. Everybody was talking about them, Disorderly Conduct. Everybody was Marlon. They say that's his name, Marlon. Yeah, Marlon. Yeah. Shout out to Marlon. But everybody was talking about their energy, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, I was expecting a trash talking back and forth. No one told me that their energy was into a lot of chants. they had a chant for everything, and and everything that happened, they had a chant. Which I'm not even gonna lie, it kind of threw me off guard because I was kind of prepared for the the talking back and forth. But when they broke out the softball chants and everything, and I was trying to, trying to figure out something against that, which was a little bit difficult. I'm not gonna lie, because they were no matter if they got spared, if they got struck, they had a different chant for every situation. If our guys left a 10 pin, if our guys open, they had a chant for everything. And
they kept take notes.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I mean, I said, you gotta go sit in the corner and take notes. Yeah. Amanda's done an amazing job. That team is very family oriented. I know a lot of teams talk about family, but like that's a solid group of people. And they
don't shake easy.
No, they don't shake easy. Like their energy is unquestioned. Now, if you wanted to get into a straight trash talking thing with Amanda, she probably would beat you herself in that because she's very good at that too. But them having those, I mean, they even call their own guy boring. Like you can't help but like enjoy the moment. You can't help but like laugh at it. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's like it's cool to see. It's great energy. It's not the same energy. It's not the same energy that like Stay Dangerous brings.
Right.
But it's
that's
like
what I was expecting. Right.
Yeah, Stay Dangerous is more like they just gonna talk trash to you the entire time, and it don't matter. You could throw 8 in a row against DC, and you leave a 10 pin, they gonna give you the same chant regardless.
Yep.
It don't matter. Luckily you didn't have to hear any of their gutter ball chants. Cause I'm pretty sure they got some for that. But yeah, that's a whole different thing. But while we're talking about them too, I do want to say that like something for you and your team to take away from is like y'all are a double in the 10th away in game 3 from having a roll off. So that just shows like how close you guys are there, man. So keep the fight up, man. Like it sucks losing in the first round. I get it. We didn't even make it there this year. But at the same time, DC was gonna be tough regardless who they faced. And like you guys, you went, every round with them, man. So congrats on that for sure. I know it wasn't the outcome you wanted, but good job as well.
But I think another thing too, and I think I think a team like Gustavo, Stay Dangerous. We talk a lot of trash, but I think like people don't give us credit because we give credit where credit is due. Like I know a lot of people thought we were salty because we lost. I was like, nah, it's not that deep. Because like you said, one thing that I think it was EK, matter of fact, who's up here. I think EK said it too. He was like, all right, now we got 2 years of information from being in the playoffs back-to-back years to take on into the new season to even prepare for more. So I've said it plenty of times on the shows, like bowling, every loss isn't a loss. Some of those losses you got to take as lessons to move on to the next. And I think that's exactly what we did. I don't think none of our guys really, I mean, of course, losing it hurt. We wanted to win and go as far as we could, but we after the next day, them tears dried up, and we already looking into next season. And like I said, but big shout outs Disorderly Conduct. One thing, like I said, I caught their softball chants as an umpire. I'll be hearing some of those chants, and one thing, let me say this too, because I said something to them when in the beginning I called their chants corny, which even if I think they are or not, if it works for you, it works for you and your team. Like, don't stop on nobody accord. I would suggest, whatever y'all find works, no matter what nobody else thinks about it. If it works for y'all, and I've gotten the reports, they are a high energy team. like I said, I just wasn't expecting that energy, and it did throw me off a little bit as far as the conference support, because we was stuck back there listening a little bit.
Yeah.
it kind of mesmerizing, but like you said, we were a double away from the 10th, in the 10th from forcing the roll off, but they struck, we didn't. No matter the end of the day, they're moving on to Battle Bowl. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'd rather lose to a team going to the Battle Bowl than So I was rooting for them. I did watch that match with them in Conspiracy Theory, and I don't know what happened to Conspiracy Theory, because they were the hottest thing smoking going into that round. I think Sam and them told me that Critical Role averaged 230 a man and still lost to them, which is crazy, because like to average 230 a person and lose, and then they went on. Who did they face in the second matchup?
Conspiracy Theory had Savages. Yeah.
And you want to talk? Was you over there for that match? You want to talk about that one?
Yeah, so I was back and forth because like you've known since I've met you that obviously I'm always gonna be team first, and then like I'm gonna go for the district, and then I'm gonna go for the conference, right? And so it sucked for us. We only had 3 teams in the playoffs, and 2 of them faced each other in the first round. That was Augusta Reign and Carolina Rampage. And, they bowled on lanes 1 to 6. 1 and 2 were just a terrible pair. But the other teams bowled on it too, right? So Carolina Rampage, they advanced. But so round 2, Savages drew 1 through 6. And then Carolina Rampage, since they flipped the lanes everybody was on, they were on the opposite high end. So I was back and forth trying to watch both.
Who did Carolina Rampage have second round?
So Carolina Rampage had Hitman. So their situation was very similar to yours in a way, where Carolina Rampage was 10-2 plus 92, I believe it was, going into game 3.
Wow.
And if Mike McConnell wouldn't have shot, if he wouldn't have shot 279, because Savages won total, not Savages, Hitman won total pins by 29.
Oh.
So they were able to, because they were close to where it was looking. I mean, I was down there with like Pernell and them, and like kind of sweating it out, because at one point it looked like it might go to a roll off. But it ended up being 22-18 plus 29 pins. So it was a great match. So the other end, though, Savages were bowling Conspiracy Theory, like we talked about, and Savages, their scratch pair, like Conspiracy Theory scratch pair was just on it. Savages, I want to say, lost scratch by like 390 or something like that. And like they used their sub for their scratch pair and everything, but they were in the spot too to force a tie, because both of their handicap pairs won the first 2 games. And so they obviously got swept on 1, and that was going to probably be enough to get them all 10 for the total pins. But either one or both of the handicap pairs lost game 3. So that's how they ended up, following the Conspiracy Theory. But Conspiracy Theory, man, they were throwing the ball like they were crazy. And then they beat the brakes off of NWO. They beat them 38-2.
Yeah.
In what was round 3, and then round 4, like they had, a couple of them were, worried about, trying to pick with me online and stuff, and that obviously didn't work for them. But much respect to their team, man. They did a really good job. It just, everybody can't make it every year. So the fact that we got Synergy and DC going back, they've been there before. You know, that just makes it even more special that we've made it there before. And, you know, just giving us something to, you know, even making us more hungry for next season as well. So.
Yeah, I think going into that final round, no one would have, you know, expected, I ain't going to say a collapse, but watching the match online, their energy definitely wasn't the same. I was talking about conspiracy theory when I was watching their match online. And energy is big, especially at this time of year. If you don't have that energy, as we can see, hold on, let's backtrack a little bit because maybe you could touch on. I know it was some back and forth friendly banter with Savages and Stay Dangerous, as they said that as who was it? Was it complete? They said they who did Savages play in that round? Was it conspiracy theory?
So Savages bowled conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
and so our friend, I'll call him a friend, Gustavo. He was one thing that somebody asked him to come down there. He just went down or whatever. Gustavo is always going to support. He's like, he looks at it the same way I do. He's going to support his team, then he's going to support the district, and then he's going to support the South, right?
Right.
And so conspiracy theory was in Triad. Stay Dangerous and GOAT had already bounced from playoffs, but you know he was going to go for conspiracy theory, DC, and NWO as long as they weren't facing each other, right? And so he was down there going for conspiracy theory, and you know he was trying to talk. He was trying to talk. He was trying to talk some shit to Ken, but I'll say Ken, Destiny, and Daphne was probably the best handicap pair, definitely in Palmetto all season. But you could put them against a lot of them because Destiny and Daphne are easily two of the best female bowlers in the conference, if not all the UBA. Congratulations to Daphne on the Hall of Fame thing, by the way. Yep, and Ken is very solid too. Ken ain't no slow. He's been an uncapped champ before, like runs a pro shop too. Like Ken's very solid. So you know, Gustavo was trying to you know, talk shit to them because they were on handicap 1. Did it shake them any? I mean, I don't know. Like, you know, Ken had like front 5. Gustavo came down there, and then Ken didn't get the next one. But they all shot extremely well. Like, so I don't think Gustavo got in their ear, but I think it bothered some people on Savages that a guy that team was already eliminated was down there running his mouth, right? And that's just part of it. Like, I mean, it's just, you know, it kind of is what it is. You know, you know, if anything, it took the focus off of them trying to help their scratch bowlers out, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for them, you know, but it was one of those things where it was like, it was the energy and the environment was, I think, too much for the Savages, honestly.
Yeah, it was definitely loud. Because I was there supporting DSL after we lost, and I couldn't help but keep walking down there to see what was going on because it was the Stay Dangerous was just like it was a Stay Dangerous match.
And the thing that like I even thought today, I was in Salisbury for the heavyweight match, the Southeast heavyweight match between the new Stay Dangerous guy and Kyle Coca, Mr. Gall. And then you know, my guy John Fowler, who's leaving and he owns Triple X, that's gonna be out of Rock Hill next year. But we still wanted to be there to, you know, show our support, you know, for everything he did this year, and you know, tried to help him with some adjustments and stuff. Just, you know, be that earpiece for him a little bit. Right. But the trash talk from Gustavo and them, like once the lights come on, they're talking trash, right? But then once it's over, it's done. Win or loss, bets get paid, all that kind of stuff. You know, they're, you know, hey man, good to see you. Like, it's not real. You know what I mean? Like, we're in the moment.
Right.
You know, and like, so that's some of the stuff we need more of in the UBA, where, you know, we don't need to have altercations afterwards. We don't need to have people spilling it into real life. I mean, some of us, bowling is life, you know, but it's not life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where you just got to take it for what it is, have fun for what it is. Don't take it personal. You lose, pay your money. If you win, collect your money. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so that's the thing, that just everybody's not used to that. Everybody's not used to the trash talk and all that.
And I'm glad you said that. And I see Kevin and on here. And it's something that I've talked to him about, and we've actually been going back and forth, you know, with friendly banter. And it's because I've been telling everybody on our Deep South page, like, look, like, yo, we gotta step it up. Like, yo, we gotta step it up. We gotta get these people prepared. I've been one to constantly be talking trash, constantly to be throwing jabs at other teams, because when we get into these playoffs, I want, like you said, our districts to do well. I want our division, Southern Division, to be well, because when you go to Battle Bowl, as you can attest to this, it's a different ball game. It's not a library. Like, them people up north are going to be on you. Like, pause. They're gonna be, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna sense they're gonna sense your weakness, and they're gonna continue to go after you nonstop. And that's one thing that I've said constantly in our district page is like, yo, I'm about to, this season, upcoming up season with these new teams, yo, I feel like I'm taking it on myself to get a lot of these teams ready for the playoffs, who's never even, because you got teams that never even played teams outside our district yet, who, you know, and I understand we got 4 new teams coming to our district. You know, they may not get into, you know, events early on because they're still trying to figure out, you know, their identity, their tour stops, blah, blah, blah. But, yo, you got to still be prepared if you make that playoffs, and you got to travel somewhere, and you may face Stay Dangerous first round. You know, you face a team. I want to be behind you, cheering you on against them, you know, while they're still talking trash to you, because they're not gonna stop. And I feel like a lot of the teams that are putting teams together now aren't really taking that into account, because that's what the UBA, that's what sells the UBA. It is a trash talking league, and if you're not with it or you ain't ready, you will get. It will be a long, uncomfortable season, you know, and it's, you got to be prepared for it.
Yeah, we've talked about that some already too, where like, my whole thing is like, you know, I'm yeeting on everybody. That's gonna be I'm yeeting on everybody. You know, I'm going to probably bowl a little bit more myself this year. Just like, because it's not trash, because there's different levels of trash talk and excitement and energy, right? Like, you saw that between Stay Dangerous, the way they do it. You see the way DC does it. You know, there's times when, you know, we bowled Wasted Potential this year, and I was on handicap 1, and I was talking to all 9 of their bowlers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always like getting in your face and like telling you you're a piece of shit. You know, it's more like, you know, hey man, like, damn, I can't believe you struck right there. There ain't no way you're gonna strike again, man. You've never thrown a ball like that, man. You know what I mean? Right. And just to get people, you know, it's kind of that whole that Billy Ho and Sidney Dean kind of comparison.
Right.
It's getting in your ear when you at the top of the key. You know what I mean? and just making you second guess stuff. It don't have to be the Gustavo way. It don't have to be the Amanda Stone way. It's just you got to have something.
Hey,
So,
you struck. Make me a believer. Make me a believer again. Like something.
Yeah.
It got to be. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we all need. And then when it's over, you know, because some of these people we're going to see in league, some of these people we're going to see at other tournaments, we're going to see them and stuff. Like, hey, turn that shit on for the tour stop. Turn that shit off when you're done. And, you know, shake hands, kiss babies, you know, whatever you're going to do. Like, it's fine. But just be there. You know, just be in the moment for your team. You know, and you do that, you know, you'll be successful. People are always going to talk shit after the fact when their butt hurts. And then it's like you just got to take away from it all what you can, you know. You know, like my season, for instance, we didn't make the playoffs this year, but in our short existence, we've won more playoff games than a lot of teams. There's only been so many teams in the South that have even made it to Battle Bowl, you know. So, you know, a down year that ain't gonna make or break us, you know. It's that, you know, people are haters because they ain't us. They haven't been the Battle Bowl.
Not only that, to your point too, the season happens like that. Like shoot, we right back at it in what 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Yeah. We right back at it. So it's a short season. So yeah, you even if you have success, like once that season starts, it's a hey, all that what you did before is erased. It's a new team. I know there's a lot of teams now. They're gearing up, recruiting people. We're doing the same. You know, and like Tynell just said, I've talked to you who've been to Battle Bowl. You know, I've talked to Leonard who's been to Battle Bowl. You know, I talked to Nick Smith. He's been a district champ a couple of times. And then I have new teams calling me, you know, asking for help. You know, we've even prided ourselves, you know, going back-to-back playoffs because, you know, it's teams in our district that's been there 10 years, ain't never been in the playoffs. You know, you got Clyde, you know, Body Snatchers. They love he loves, you know, the UBA, but he puts his team in every year. He pays his due, and if you talk to Clyde, I talk to Clyde often. Hey, every tour stop, he thinks they're gonna win. You know, so and he's gonna talk trash too. You already know. So I love growth.
Yeah, Body Snatchers, man. Body Snatchers are a team, man. That like they've embraced that part of the culture. You know, they just need a better showing on the lane. That's kind of what they're missing. But you know, it's a different thing. Like, you know, you can win a district. You know what I mean? We've our 3 seasons where we've had, you know, because we had the COVID year in there too. So, you know, we took second in the district, took first in the district, and then this year I think we're going to end up being 5th in the district. But in all that, we made we were in the Final Four in the South the first year, lost to Hitman, who ended up going on to Battle Bowl and making it to the Final Four there. Then we had you know, then we made it to Battle Bowl the next year, and then this year was just you know, circumstances we didn't get back, but you know, it's a beast that until you get there, you can't talk about. You know what I mean? Like that's the good part that we got. Like they put the and like, you know, I see Tynell's on it too. Like they put out the brackets, right? And Tynell's team, BC Crew, is the 1 seed. And the good part for the South is we got the 2 and the 3 seed. For us, are teams that have been there before. Right. Energy's been there before. DC's been there before. So the moment won't be too big for them. They've learned from the past. Synergy had a great run there before. I think Synergy won, if I'm not mistaken. But like Synergy is a solid team. DC is a solid team. Like,
yeah, because I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like one of my bowlers before our DC match, they put their Battle Bowl match against. I think it was against Hitman when they went to Battle Bowl the first time. And we put their match in our group chat, and we was like, "Hey, they're experienced. They know what it takes to win. Hey, we are. Hey, so we were kind of putting together a lineup for first and second round." And Nick Reed kind of snapped us out of it. It was like, "Hey, man, DC, they've been to Battle Bowl, so they know what it takes. Like, hey, don't worry about the second lineup. Don't worry about the second squad because we got to get through the first squad." And he was absolutely right. Kind of snapped us out of it because, like you said, they're a tough squad. They strike a lot. Their scratch squad is unfazed because, like, I think their whole scratch squad went front five against ours, and I was over there trying to talk to him, like you said, trying to say something to him to distract them from something, and it just wasn't working. It was just striking, and they were constantly striking, and it was a long, tough match. We were hanging on every ball that was being thrown in that third game because we knew what they scratch squad just did, and you know us, our scratch squad normally don't get hit in the mouth like that. You know, we have a good scratch squad, and they scratch squad, like I said, came with it. They I forgot Johnny Bravo. I call him Johnny Bravo because his hair. He was unfazed, talking shit. I love him. Bryce is his name. I love his energy that he brought because he brought the energy from the jump, and like I said, we came out a little flat, but they bowled and they continued on. Like, shouts out to DC. I think they're gonna do big things out there in Battle Bowl because, like you said, once you experience it and you get there, you know what it takes to get there. And then they pretty much have the same team that went there, correct? As far as the most, their core.
Their core is the same.
Yeah, so if they come in with the energy, they still got that corporate support. They're gonna make a lot of noise out there up north. Like, and we as the outsiders, we rooting for y'all from the south because we hear how they talk about us. We hear how they talk about us.
You're right for sure because the bad part for last time DC made it to Battle Bowl was it was set up to where the four conferences, they bowled each other first to make the Final Four, right? So the first round match for them, it was DC versus Hitman last time in the Elite Eight, right? And so after that, it was talked about like Hale had talked about it. I mentioned it to Tom and Tynell and to Phil even that, like, hey, like, if we're just going to do that, we could just do that back home, instead of like spending all this money to get up here. And so, whoever made the decision, it was a great job on their part to where they reseeded everybody. I wish it would work out so they were different sides and there was an all-South final. But even if they both get to the Final Four.
You was cutting out a little bit. You might have to repeat that.
Yeah, I'm living in the country. But yeah, so 2 years ago, it was Hitman versus DC in the round of 8. And because it was all your conference champs faced each other first, right? Your two reps. And it got changed after that. It was brought up to Hale, Tynell, Phil, Tom. Not just me, but a lot of people brought it up, that, hey, we can just bowl this at the house. We don't need to drive to Delaware to bowl the team from up the street. Right. So it worked out really well that they changed to now everybody's reseated. based on your total points from. And so we got 2 and 3 for DC and Synergy, but hopefully, they'll meet each other hopefully in the Final Four. I wish they were on different sides of the bracket and could have had an all-South final, but now they've got to face teams that some of them have been there before. I believe, if I'm right, Royal Flush has been there before. Some of the other ones, I can't swear to. Murder Inc. didn't make it. That was kind of everybody's favorite to get back, I guess. And Outrage didn't make it. That's a perennial favorite from everybody. Basically, everybody that Gordon said was going to do well on his motivational rankings did not. So, that's just he's got that black cloud.
Secret society
aura,
there,
I guess. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, I can't see the comments on here. One thing I want to say, I don't know if you saw where Tynell said that stay tuned. We're gonna have some South Carolina, Georgia stuff going on, which is fantastic because you and me have been talking about we need more events down here and stuff. Me and Tynell, we're trying to get together Tuesday, I believe, to work out some stuff for next year, share some thoughts. People can say what they want about Mal, but shout out to Mal for his Hall of Fame thing too. This year is Matt, social media Mal. Yeah, social media Mal is a lot different. Union trainer. Okay, cool. Social media Mal is completely different than UBA employee Mal, so to speak. Yeah. When you get them on text messages or you get them on email, it's a completely different guy. Hale's the same way too. Shout out to Hale and his Hall of Fame thing as well. They both try to do a really good job. They really do. Gordon is bad luck. We're really trying. Mal's really trying. Mal was on board with trying to do some stuff to help our cause for growing the Southeast. Not just having everything in Greensboro. But like I've told you, it takes time, it takes steps. And I feel really good about that. And in fact, that Tynell is already kind of throwing a spoiler, so to speak, out there, that we're going to have some stuff this way. It's something that everybody should be encouraged about. And
I mean, I can definitely see it with the growth of South and North Carolina. Yeah, I think Ray just froze. Oh, but yeah, with the growth of, there you go, you back. With the growth of South and North Carolina, and I'm sorry, South Carolina and Georgia, excuse me. North Carolina is pretty big. They got, they're going all the way into Virginia. But I think with the growth of Georgia, I want to also, say shout out to DSL for that help. The Outsiders, Sam with Critical Role. I know Sam has been. I know a lot of people don't see it, but Sam Benefield behind the scenes have been working hard to try to grow the UBA in Georgia. He's really been working hard to grow these teams out here in Georgia to try to, get more events down here eventually and stuff like that. And like you said, I know it was just a matter of time. I understand the growth that needed to happen for it to happen. And like we said before, a lot of the stuff that I be saying do be trash talk. When I be, of course, a lot of them be seeing me, and like I said before, me and Dre be going back and forth about teams not coming down here to Georgia or crossing the Mason-Dixie line. I do be, it do be jokes, but I do be. We got tournaments down here. We always, you've seen us. We'll travel. We just want to show y'all our hospitality out here in Georgia. Hey, come on out. The water's fine. We don't bite. Hey, we got we got moonshine too. So, but a lot of the times, the houses down here, because you've been in the district down here. The houses down here are a little bit different.
Yep.
They're a little bit different. So, but bowlers are going to bowl. That was one thing we had a conversation on my with my team about these last couple of days with the playoffs that we were watching. In the future, I see Full Throttle and Southern Asylum had a little scrimmage today. That was cute.
What went on there?
They had a little scrimmage between Full Throttle and Southern Asylum.
Okay.
I thought that was real cute. I wouldn't mind doing something with that, but it has to be the right team. I wouldn't if we do a scrimmage, and I know my team spoke about it earlier. It will have to be against DSL or Critical Role. Yeah, that'll be the only two teams that I will see, or unless it's a North Carolina team or South Carolina team that wants to do a scrimmage or something like that and meet somewhere, we could do that. But I definitely agree with the growth of the UBA. It was a matter of time before, the South had more events further south, Parnell's
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. It's one of those things that Tynell, we're gonna talk about that because one of the things we were gonna talk about was splitting team rankings because of the size of our conference too. Me and Hale talked about it like briefly. We think that'd be a good thing. And the preseason extravaganza, he's got the one in North Carolina that some of the South Carolina and Georgia teams are going to go to. But if Mal don't want to do something, we'll work something out because one of the things on our agenda is to get a brawl in each district next year, and just try to be more inclusive to everybody. We got down here, we work with Federation pretty well, and so we try not to overlap weekends. But who's to say we couldn't do events on Saturday? Who's to say we couldn't do a brawl Saturday in one district, Sunday in another one? Like, there's different things we can do. So Mal knows that I'm open to helping any way possible. But yeah, a separate preseason extravaganza here in Columbia or Augusta, or maybe even Greenville will be something cool. But so yeah, me and Mal definitely we'll definitely talk about that. And if you got anything else, Tynell, that any suggestions you got, man, you got my email, man. Feel free to shoot it to me because we all about just trying to grow everything down here.
I love the I don't think you did it last year, but I love the idea when you pretty much did with the belt series. How you kind of did like a sweeper and then you based the ranks off of that. I would love to see that be brought back.
Yeah. So the reason we did it that year was we had belts that were going to be vacated because of the average rules. This year, Malcolm Rose is the cruiserweight champ. He's going to battle. He is not averaging out. If Jonathan would have beat him, then he would have averaged out. So we would have had a vacated cruiserweight belt after Battle Bowl. I'm not sure what the welterweight status is, but it was definitely a shot in the arm for WCS. I've got some ideas to help the Vixen series out a little bit as well. So like I think it'll happen again. It's just kind of where it's kind of a holding pattern, I guess, at the moment because it's around Battle Bowl where me, Tom, and Sagira get together. We talk about new WCS rules, what we want to change there. Then Jason Hale and the people that do the regular rules, we want to try to have them lined up as much as possible. I'm also now on and I know you saw this too, the President's Council. Yeah. Trying to help with that, get some ideas off the board. there. We've got a lot that's come up. Me and another guy are going to compile that stuff. But I'll be at Battle Bowl. I don't get to sit at the table with these guys, so to speak, but I'll see everybody. I'll see Tynell up there. I'll see Tom. I'll see Jason. I'll see everybody. So a lot of it's just using the right forums to get through to people. The comment that's up there now from a Tynell, like that's exactly how I envision the split. How we should split team rankings. Because I think it'll have about 40 and 40 on the teams too.
Because we're getting into team rankings this year. And I heard kind of what happened last year with certain teams not wanting to travel as far. And when I was in the WCS my first year, which I am getting back into that also this season with the tag, and we'll see if I'm going to be a cruiserweight or heavyweight. I don't know what averages they're going to be using, but I definitely saw a problem when I would have to face a North Carolina or a guy from Virginia, and he had to drive 4 hours, and they didn't like that,
Yeah.
So I can, definitely see where it can help with splitting it, and working something out there. And let me also say this too, because didn't give y'all a lot of credit up front when we first started, because it was a lot of figuring out growth when things are a certain way for a long period of time, and then you have growth. I know I'm learning now it can take a while to see it, but shout out to the decision makers, because I feel like there was definitely some decisions that was made this season for the better that kind of helped, and I see the growth that is happening in a lot of us owners and presidents with our voice being heard, like you said, with the presidents and owner page that we've been talking on lately and sharing ideas. And I want to, just give appreciation to the decision makers, and even the swift decision making that happened about the big shout out to you, Kyle. A big decision that they made with the wild card, which I thought was the right thing to do. So I appreciate the decision makers. I know it's not an easy job. I know a lot of us give y'all a lot of hard time. I know I do, especially with the jerseys. But far as a lot of the stuff that I see going into the future, I do appreciate and do see the work, and want to say hats off to the decision makers, because it's not an easy job. I know it's not. But
it's definitely tough, man. It's like, because some of these guys go a lot, some of them don't. I feel blessed in a way to be on both sides of it, where I bowl WCS, I run WCS, I bowl tour season. I'm just like, being on staff helps, being the owner. Like, there's so much of it that, like, I feel like I'm a good middleman for stuff. You've seen that on the president's page with some of the ideas people have come up with, where I haven't really shot them down, so to speak, but just kind of shared the why.
Yeah.
Shared the whys, because I think a lot of it is, you have a lot of people that say, we need to change this, change it. But then nobody was ever like taking it to the right people. It was like a lot of water cooler talk, but then nobody was taking it to the bosses to actually make the decision. So like, hopefully, I feel good about the people, because like I work for Tom basically, in the WCS role, in the entertainment commentator stuff. I work for Phil.
Right.
So it's like I'm in a lot of pieces of it. So like, it feels really good. I feel like people listen. to me, when I bring it up. It's all about how you bring it up. You know, if you just
Right.
go on a social media page and just say this is stupid, you know what I mean? We get it. You think it's stupid, you know. The you know, one of the things that we just got to just kind of do better on is just communicating up, man. Like there's so much stuff we just do, and we want to compare it to, wow, payouts. We pay out faster in federation and stuff. Well, we don't ever talk about the whys. The payout is different, and come up with ways that we can do things quicker. You know, we just got to have constructive criticism and go from there. But, you know, I know I can speak for the staff on this one that, you know, we appreciate when we do get credit for what we're trying to do, because I truly feel everybody's trying to do a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to hear, man. We appreciate
I think,
the words.
And while we got Tynell out on here, if you can, or if there is a way where I can help out with more video coverage in Deep South Division, I'm willing to do that, because I'm pretty much at every tour stop. I'm not. If I always say this, if I'm bowling the tour stop, something happened. I do kind of plan on bowling more tour stops, but if I don't have to, if I can help out with coverage for the Deep South in some type of way, I would love to do that. To you know, so if you can reach out to me, or I'll reach out to you, I'll shoot you an email saying the same thing. What I can do to, you know, help get more coverage. I would love, especially with these new teams, I would really love to document this upcoming season, because I think this upcoming season is going to be a great one, especially down here. Because a lot of people don't know, a lot of Georgia is full of trash talk, like the leagues and everything. Like it's rivalries before they even touch a UBA team. Like it was rivalries before, you know, before UBA team even got, you know, this thick out here. So it's a lot of, you know, storylines and great footage that we could be getting out here. And I would love to document this upcoming season with the growth and everything. I plan on having the 4. I'm gonna reach out to them tomorrow, but I plan on having the 4 new team owners on the show so they could talk about, you know, if I think only one of them had UBA experience, I believe. True UBA experience.
Right.
So I would love to get, you know, talk to them. Another thing too, I plan on having the world champ up here this week. I'm gonna reach out to him as soon as we get off. Juice. Plan on having Juice on in the probably next week. Upcoming. So, and Tynell, if you're not doing nothing one night, man, I would love to get you on here, pick your brain, have you on the show, you know, and so you can talk about the upcoming UBA season. I would love to know ways that we as owners can help, you know, push things forward, you know, because I think a lot of times as an owner, you know, we start the team and then we don't know. We kind of just, I'm not gonna lie, we kind of think that we have a voice, and not to say we don't have a voice, but like Ray just said, there's a way that you do it. And I would love to, you know, start putting out for these new team owners, or even these people who actually see and are joining on to the UBA team, for them to even know how to properly get your voice heard. Like Ray just said. All right, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Okay, I'm gonna reach out to you. But yeah, so I would love to start. Like I said, the purpose of this show is to bridge the gap between the bowler higher ups, and that's the same thing for USBC, TNBA, UBA. I'm not really too involved with. I'm trying to get involved with the with Federation. And that's just because I miss the traveling of bowling. That's one thing I think I'm gonna miss this season, is the traveling of bowling. I am not even gonna lie to you. I am a little disappointed that we have a Georgia division and that a lot of the stops are gonna be local, because I love everybody that knows me, they know I love to travel, and I love to travel and bowling in different houses. So I'm definitely going to miss that part of it for the most part. But I am excited for the new teams coming. I'm excited for the new rivalries. We've already been talking trash out here. A lot of the new teams. Shout out to let me see, who is it? What is it? I don't want to mess up nobody's name. But let me see. Okay. Shout out to Striking Results. I've already started trash talking with them because I saw y'all logo. It looked like Stretch Armstrong. Shout out to the ones. So I know a lot of people, when I posted that in the Southeast page, they didn't really know what I was talking about, but y'all gonna see it soon. Shout out to Striking Results, the ones, Southern Listics. Y'all sound like a singing group. Y'all sound like a group my mama probably got a record of. And Bad Intentions. Shout out to y'all for the new teams for coming up. Georgia is a huge bowling area, so I'm excited for these new teams that's starting, man. But I appreciate you, Ray, for giving us the recap on the playoffs.
Yeah, man.
Definitely was looking forward to going to Battle Bowl. This accident did put a damper on a lot of things for me financially. So I would not be able to make Battle Bowl this year because of the accident. And like I said, once again, I want to appreciate everybody who reached out to us after the accident. I want to thank y'all for all your prayers, your thoughts, the team owners that reached out for me on behalf of the teams, and the teammates that asked the team owners to reach out to me. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all all. I'm okay. Pride, a little hurt. That's about it. But for the most part, all of us walked out of that way safe and sound by pure miracle, and thank God for that. So, but Ray, appreciate you, man. Appreciate the rewatch gang, because I'll be seeing a lot of comments on here later on. So I appreciate people who be watching later who's not a late night owl like ourselves.
Yeah.
But I appreciate everybody who for tuning in live. Y'all have a good night, and y'all be safe.
True. Peace out, man. Have a good one.
You too.